Hey guys, it is time for a new feature called Stupid Criminal Files. We'll take a look at some stupid criminals from around the world that maybe you may have missed out on. Now, it has been the hottest summer ever, so it's hard to argue that this message wasn't accurate. Now, someone in Houston gained access to an electronic construction sign on Monday, changed the message displayed on it. Now, instead of relaying helpful information about road work up ahead, it said, "Due to weather, go F yourself." Now, the message stayed up for several hours before it got taken down, and a city employee said the controls where you type the message in and are locked inside a box that's attached to the sign. So whoever did it probably had access or knew how to break in. Now, there's no word yet on who was behind it or what type of charges they could be facing. Now, there are a lot of bad ways that a police chase can end, but this is one of the few best case scenarios. The police in New Hampshire were chasing a carjacking suspect named Barton Tabando on Monday. He was driving a van which he'd stolen at gunpoint. Now, he fled from the cops, running red lights, before losing control and crashing. And get this, he crashed into the police department. Now, he jumped out of the van, tried to run through the station's parking lot, but the cops caught up with him, tased him, and arrested him. No one was hurt. Now, Barton was arrested on 8 charges, including reckless conduct with a deadly weapon, receiving stolen property, possession of a controlled drug, disobeying an officer, resisting arrest, and armed robbery. Now, have you ever acted out on random people online or in real life and then realized that someone you knew was watching? Well, here's an extreme version of that. A 40-year-old anger ball in Florida named Armando Maciate was arrested last week after chasing down a group of teens and pointing a gun at them. Now, it's unclear what set Armando off, but it was apparently some kind of road rage incident because he aggressively chased their car in his truck. He forced them to turn down a dead-end street, then confronted them with a gun. Now, that's when Armando noticed that one of the kids was his neighbor from across the street. He cooled off, said, quote, "Oh, my bad, bro," and went back to his truck and drove away. Now, the kids had been driving to school, and when he got there, they reported the altercation to police. Now, Armando is facing charges of resisting officers and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and some of the kids' parents are pressing charges. Now, this doesn't necessarily require any extra commentary. A 30-year-old woman in Florida went to Walmart last Wednesday and was arrested after someone reported that she'd left 2 young kids in a locked car on a hot 91-degree day for at least 20 minutes. Now, the car wasn't running, so the air conditioning wasn't on, and the windows weren't rolled down. Now, the car was parked on the asphalt in the sun. The kids were reportedly 6 and 3 years old, and they were baking. Now, they were checked out at the hospital, their conditions unknown, and it seems like they were taken to be there mostly as a precaution. But get this, the cops put the woman in the back of their police cruiser, and not only did she not show any concern for her kids, she also demanded the cop crank the AC in the cruiser. Now, you know Ace Hardware, they can be helpful hardware folks who have hedge clippers to cut off your annoying ankle monitors. Did you know that? Well, a parolee in Ohio wandered around an Ace Hardware store on Tuesday before asking an employee where the hedge clippers were. They pointed them out, and the man then used the clippers to cut off his ankle monitor. Now, he stashed it in an aisle and then made his way to the exit. He grabbed a free bag of popcorn by the door, then walked out and took off on a bike. The employees found the cut ankle bracelet on the shelf and realized what had happened. The man was caught on surveillance footage. They didn't catch him cutting the monitor, but they do have him stashing it on the shelf. The store called the Ohio Adult Parole Authority, and they came in and collected the monitor. They shouldn't have any problem figuring out who the guy was, but they haven't revealed his name, why he was being monitored, or what additional charges he'll now be facing. Now, this man got locked up for assault with a delicious weapon. A 23-year-old man in Florida was arrested after assaulting a couple of Walgreens employees early Monday morning. He went into the Walgreens at around 1:20 a.m. because he wanted cigarettes. The workers refused and told him to leave. Now, it's unclear why he was denied, but he was hammered, so that probably had something to do with it. Now, the guy was furious, started throwing Snickers bars at the employees. He struck a female worker in the face, and a male worker was hit in the chest. Neither employee was injured by the Snickers bars. Now, the man was charged with 2 counts of misdemeanor battery, later released after posting $5,000 bond, which these days is enough to buy, I don't know, 1,000 Snickers bars or maybe, 20 packs of smokes. And finally, this is just a unique level of dumb right here. Cops in Nebraska released audio from March where a guy called 911 to report that someone was driving down the wrong direction on the highway. But it turned out the guy missed one minor detail. He was the one driving the wrong way. He told 911 that a truck almost hit him head on and nearly ran him off the road. So they sent a cop out to stop whoever it was. But when the cop eventually caught up with the wrong way car, the guy who called 911 was sitting in the driver's seat. Now, by that point, he'd realized his mistake. When the cop asked if he knew why he got pulled over, he said, "Yeah, because I was on the wrong side of the road." He added that he must have missed an exit. But the real reason was he'd been doing some drinking. They arrested him when it turned out he was over the legal limit. And that's going to do it for this edition of Stupid Criminal Files. Be sure and subscribe, like, and share with your friends. We'll see you real soon.